afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Live at 4 on this Tuesday. Hello to you, Susan.
How are you doing in the bunker?
We're safely back here in the bunker watching it rain out through the windows.
Yeah, rainy day. We'll get an update on the weather in just a minute.
But first, here's what's making news on this Tuesday. We're hearing from Madison Mayor Rose Conway after last night's officer-involved shooting at a downtown homeless shelter.
President Biden calls for gun reform in the wake of yesterday's mass shooting at a grocery store in Colorado.
Meanwhile, a major teachers union is taking issue with the CDC's guidelines on students returning to the classroom. But first at 4, Madison police are searching for this man who they believe to be involved in last night's shooting at a homeless shelter on Madison's east side. MPD says 23-year-old Robert E. Stevens is wanted for attempted homicide. They believe he's armed and dangerous. Anyone with information on his whereabouts is asked to call 911. And today we tried to learn more about that shooting that happened around 7:30 last night and put one person in the hospital.
The Wisconsin Department of Justice Division of Criminal Investigation is taking over the investigation of the officer-involved shooting. And our Jamie Perez joins us live with what we've learned today. Jamie?
Right, well, officers did end up arresting someone here at the scene last night, but determined today that that person is not involved, and they are indeed searching for the person that you guys just mentioned. Now, according to MPD's incident report, officers were already outside of the shelter responding to an unrelated medical call when they heard gunshots inside the building. When they got inside, they encountered 2 people. An officer ended up firing their gun during the interaction, and a preliminary investigation found that one of those people had already been shot before officers went inside. Now, the person who was shot is now in the hospital with serious injuries. Mayor Rose Conway said that hearing about this incident after 2 mass shootings that made national news in the last several weeks is disheartening.
We have already seen really tragic consequences to the availability of guns and the lack of common sense gun safety laws. We can't do this at the local level. We have to have federal and state action here.
Rose Conway said she is hoping to work with community leaders and partners to increase safety and security at homeless shelters going forward. Now, I did reach out to Porchlight, who helps run this shelter, Madison Police, and DCI, who is now leading this investigation, to respond to some of the many unanswered questions that we have, but none of them responded to our request for an interview. But Porchlight folks did tell me just a little bit ago that they do plan on opening the shelter back up here tonight to guests and staff.
Jamie Perez reporting live. Jamie, thank you. A suspect is in custody for allegedly shooting and killing 10 people yesterday at a grocery store in Boulder, Colorado.
Witnesses described the sheer terror inside the store, some scrambling to find places to hide as others escaped from any exit they could find. Jonathan Vigliotti reports.
Denny Strong, 20 years old. Nevin Studinsky, 23.
Authorities in Colorado read the names of the victims in Monday's mass shooting at a supermarket in Boulder, promising justice for their families.
I feel numb. And it's heartbreaking. It's heartbreaking to talk to victims, their families. You know, it's tragic.
The 21-year-old suspected shooter, identified as Ahmed Alissa, has been charged with 10 counts of first-degree murder. Police say he used an AR-15 rifle to gun down multiple people, including 51-year-old officer Eric Talley, a father of 7 who joined the Boulder Police Department in 2010.
He's a very kind man, and he didn't have to go into policing. He had a profession before this, but he felt a higher calling, and he was willing to die to protect others.
Inside the store, Ryan Borowski says no one knew what was going on.
Heard, one loud bang, thought somebody just dropped something, an employee or something, and then another. And then by the third one, everybody was running.
President Biden called on Congress to act following the grocery store shooting and the spa shootings in the Atlanta area just 6 days ago.
I don't need to wait another minute, let alone an hour, to take common sense steps that will save the lives in the future.
Monday's attack was the 7th mass killing in the U.S. this year. Investigators have not established a motive, but are looking into whether the suspect was suffering from some type of mental illness at the time. Jonathan Vigliotti, CBS News, Boulder, Colorado.
And former President Obama released a statement on the shooting and gun violence, saying in part, quote, "We shouldn't have to choose between one type of tragedy and another. This is a normal that we can no longer afford."
President Biden is calling on Congress to pass legislation to reduce gun violence in the wake of yesterday's deadly shooting and last week's deadly spa shootings in Atlanta. Members of the Senate Judiciary Committee addressed the shooting in Colorado during a previously scheduled hearing on gun violence. Among the witnesses, a woman whose mother was shot and killed by a home invader, while a former Texas state representative who lost her parents in the Luby's cafeteria mass shooting offered a different view on gun laws.
If a strong background check law was in place, I could be having breakfast with my mother instead of appearing before your committee.
I was mad as hell at my legislators because they had legislated me and others in that restaurant out of the right to be able to defend ourselves.
President Biden called on Congress to pass what he says are common sense steps to reduce gun violence. Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer promised to bring the legislation to the Senate floor, but it's unclear if the bills will pass. A 2019 poll from the Pew Research Center showed 88% of Americans supported making private gun sales and sales at gun shows subject to background checks.
Let's take a look outside now. Flowers are starting to come up, and the rain's going to help that. A rumble of thunder, perhaps? Dana Fulton's in the backyard. I assume umbrella up this afternoon.
You are right, yes. Umbrella is definitely up right now. We have some pretty steady rainfall out here on the patio. Could see, again, a few thunderstorms pass through this evening, but as we look at our Doppler track right now, I'm not seeing any lightning. This does just look like some steadier rain for us through much of Dane County. Perhaps some heavier rainfall along the western edge of Iowa County and into parts of Grant County right now. Here's a live-looking Platteville. We've got raindrops all over the camera. The same goes for our downtown Madison, Edgewater, Skycam. Temperature-wise, we are in the mid-50s, so it does feel pretty mild and springy outside, but it's also very rainy for us as well. Because of the rain conditions, roads have been slick in some spots. We're also taking a close look at the Beltline right now. Eastbound near Stoughton Road, completely closed due to what I'm being told is a fire on the Beltline. So eastbound, certainly want to make sure you avoid that at all costs. It is closed. And then prior to that closing, you can see extended backup stretching all the way past the isthmus. Otherwise, downtown Madison right now, a few stop and go spots, but I imagine traffic there around the Beltline is going to continue to pick up as people are diverted away from the eastbound side. For 39 and 90 north and southbound right now does look smooth from Janesville to the Beltline, 26 minutes, 16 minutes to get from Sauk City to Middleton and some Prairie to downtown, 9 minutes this evening. We have a closer look at your full 10-day and an update on the Beltline situation in just a few minutes.
All right, Dana, thank you very much. Wisconsin health officials have not released the latest case data yet. They're having some difficulty on their end, but we do have updated vaccine information. 15% of Wisconsinites are done with the vaccination process. That's about 874,000 people. Almost 1.5 million people have, or roughly 26% of the state has had at least one dose of the vaccine. More than 19% of Dane County residents have completed their vaccine series. That's more than 104,000 people. More than 31% of the county has had at least one shot. The Wisconsin Department of Health Services has released new data on what kind of vaccine everybody is getting. The state has distributed more than 43,000 of the single-dose Johnson & Johnson vaccines. Governor Evers told reporters yesterday the state has given out all of its Johnson & Johnson supply. It currently has the state has administered more than 1 million doses of the Moderna vaccine and more than 1.2 million doses of the Pfizer vaccine. We're also learning more about where people are getting their shots. Nearly half of people in Wisconsin are getting it through their health care provider. The second most common option is through a pharmacy.
President Biden took his first trip to Ohio since taking office to sell his COVID relief package. The trip comes on the 11th anniversary of the Affordable Care Act becoming law. The White House is encouraging Americans who need health insurance to sign up on healthcare.gov. The current special enrollment period runs until May 15th. The American Federation of Teachers, meanwhile, wrote the Biden administration to express concern about the CDC CDC's new 3 feet social distancing guidance for schools when students are wearing masks. And there are also new questions about the data that AstraZeneca released from its COVID-19 vaccine trial in the U.S.
This is really what you call an unforced error, because the fact is, this is very likely a very good vaccine.
AstraZeneca says it will work to provide the most up-to-date data to regulators. The pharmaceutical company is expected to apply for emergency use authorization in the U.S. in the coming weeks.
A new study in the U.K. is trying to determine what happens when different types of vaccines are deliberately mixed up. Researchers hope the results could help relieve global vaccine shortages and protect against variants. More than 800 volunteers aged 50 and above are taking part in the Oxford University-led trial. Some given a Pfizer prime shot followed by an AstraZeneca booster, or AstraZeneca followed by Pfizer. Others the same vaccine twice, the standard way. For comparison, shots are separated by 4 and 12-week gaps to see what works best. Professor Paul Heath is principal investigator at one of the 8 trial sites across the UK.
With that knowledge, then we can have complete confidence that a number of different vaccines can be rolled out and implemented in a population very quickly, very efficiently, without any concern about inadvertent mixing of the combination.
You're talking about potentially increasing flexibility,
Yep.
capacity.
Yep.
For those who have already had a vaccine, it's unclear just how long the protection lasts. If we all do need a booster, the results of this trial may help show whether we'd be better off switching up vaccines next time around.
Opening statements in the trial of a former Minneapolis chief accused of killing George Floyd are set to begin next week. The final juror was seated this afternoon in Derek Chauvin's trial. Jury selection began more than 2 weeks ago. Authorities on both sides will deliver opening statements starting Monday. More than 100 people were interviewed as potential jurors. Derek Chauvin is charged with murder and manslaughter in the death of Floyd last spring. Floyd died after Chauvin, who is a black man, died after Chauvin, who is white, pressed his knee against his neck for almost 9 minutes. The video of the death sparked protests across the country and around the world.
The program will promote health benefits of Dane County parks. SSM Health and Dane County Park officials have joined together to create Healthy Parks, Healthy You. The program will focus on the physical and mental benefits of spending time outdoors. William Lunny is the president of the Foundation for Dane County Parks. He is encouraging everyone to get outside and enjoy the area's natural beauty.
A park is not just a piece of land. It is a vibrant part of the community. It's a place for people to reconnect with the natural world and be able to improve their physical and mental health and well-being.
SSM Health and Dane County officials will work together to promote different ways people can enjoy county parks. Dane County officials saw a dramatic increase in people using parks last year, and they expect that to continue. The county has 26 parks, over 100 miles of trails, and several other wildlife, historical, and natural resource areas.
A Chicago suburb will become the first city in the U.S. to pay reparations to black families. For decades, black families in Evanston, Illinois could only live in a specific red area, this area, a practice known as redlining. Now, in an 8-to-1 vote, city officials have agreed to a reparations program that would pay $400,000 to black residents harmed by discriminatory housing practices between 1919 and 1959. Vanessa Johnson McCoy says her parents struggled to find a home in the 50s and calls the program long overdue. But there is pushback, even from some black residents.
Anything that can be done to help repair that is great, and it's deserved, and it's overdue.
What we are missing here is allowing the people to dictate the terms of how they are repaired. Instead of cash payments or other options that respect the humanity and self-determination of black people and allow them to determine how best to repair themselves, the housing program is restrictive.
Support for local and national reparations appears to be growing. At least 4 U.S. cities are considering following Evanston's lead, and so is the Episcopal Church.
Well, COVID-19 has affected just about every aspect of our lives, including our eating patterns.
And not always in a good way, unfortunately. Consumer Reports has advice on eating your way through a pandemic. That's when Live at 4 continues.
watching News 3 Now, live at 4.
This is Ford Truck Month.
So are you ready for a ride?
Now is the time to get a great deal on Ford Ranger, Ford Super Duty, and the all-new 2021 Ford F-150. Get our best offers of the year and see what Built Ford Tough can do for you. Welcome to the show, America.
Welcome to the show.
Right now, get $5,750 in total savings on a 2021 F-150. Only during Ford Truck Month.
You know your gutters are full of gunk, and you know you need to deal with it eventually. With LeafGuard, you can give up cleaning your gutters forever. Hi, I'm Andrew Larson, owner of Larson Home Services. My team would love to show you how LeafGuard's patented design channels rainwater into your gutters while leaves, seeds, and other debris just roll off, leaving them clog-free, guaranteed.
We looked at several different types of gutters, and we knew that we had problems with leaves. We have lots of trees around our house, and I'm the one who goes and cleans out the gutters, and I wanted to eliminate that hassle in the fall of cleaning the gutters, and LeafGuard has done a wonderful job.
Love to hear that. Right now, your LeafGuard brand gutter system comes with some great money-saving extras. Order now and save 75% on installation labor, get free financing for a year, and a $100 Visa gift card. Call to set up your free estimate today.
Do you suffer with pain, numbness, and tingling in the hands or feet, commonly diagnosed as peripheral neuropathy? Are you taking drugs such as Lyrica or gabapentin that have serious side effects and often do not relieve your symptoms? Your doctor has told you you may just have to live with the pain. Peripheral neuropathy is a result of damage to the nerves, often causing burning, weakness, pain, numbness, tingling, and the most debilitating balance problems. Our facility uses multiple therapeutic methods to help give you relief from neuropathy symptoms with no injections and no drugs. You may start seeing relief after only a few sessions. To determine if your neuropathy symptoms can be relieved, we will do a consultation to evaluate the extent of your condition. Call us today to schedule your neuropathy consultation to find out if you're a candidate for our therapy. Call today.
Erectile dysfunction for men of all ages has become much more common. In fact, most men don't realize that 90% of erectile dysfunction is a direct result of broken down old blood vessels. This causes a lack of blood flow that is critical when achieving an erection. With our state-of-the-art technology, we're able to stimulate new stem cell growth right in our office with no pills, no needles, no surgery, and no pain.
To book your consultation and get back to natural functionability, call Peak Performance for Men today.
Welcome back, everyone. Deaths involving pedestrians are up 46% over the past decade.
And a new report shows the trend continued during the pandemic, even though fewer drivers were on the road. A preliminary report from the government's Highway Safety Association found the pedestrian fatality rate rose 20% in the first 6 months of 2020. Pam Fisher from the GHSA says even though people drove less because of the lockdowns, wide open roads led to an increase in speeding.
What we're seeing out there is just this uptick in risky behaviors.
That includes drunk driving, reported in nearly half of the fatal pedestrian accidents. Police in San Diego say last week a man under the influence hit and killed at least 3 people. The crash happened during the day, but most of these deadly accidents happen at night. It was a bad day for bank and energy stocks on Wall Street. The Dow Industrials had its worst day in 3 weeks, dropping 308 points, closing at 32,423. The Nasdaq fell almost 150 points. The S&P 500 was off 30. At the pandemic's start, many of us stumbled into new ways of eating, cooking more at home and maybe snacking more throughout the day since our refrigerators and pantries were close by.
Well, almost a year in now, Consumer Reports reveals more about how the pandemic has changed how we eat and offers some advice. Leah Linscheid reports.
Over the past pandemic-filled year, many families have seen changes to the way they eat and what they eat. A recent Consumer Reports survey found that about 80% of Americans say they've made at least one change in the food they eat or the way they source or prepare it, and those changes could impact their health.
Eating well is especially vital right now because obesity, heart disease, and diabetes all increase the risk of COVID-19 complications. So this is a really good time to evaluate your diet and see which habits you want to keep and which you want to change.
Did you put on the so-called COVID-19? Maybe it wasn't 19 pounds, but you're not alone. 32% of people say they've gained weight since the start of the pandemic.
When people have less structure in their day and more access to the kitchen, this can lead to more snacking and nibbling and weight gain. So make it easy on yourself to grab healthy options by planning out your meals and your snacks in advance.
Another trend. Early on in the pandemic, supermarket shortages, hikes in food prices, and stay-at-home orders led many folks to find alternatives to going into the grocery store. 49% of shoppers used a grocery delivery or pickup service. That's up from 27% before the pandemic.
For many people, this sparked the question, where does my food come from? So many consumers started to search out local farm stands and community-supported agricultures, and many even started their own gardens.
And some research suggests that gardening can increase mental well-being, something we could all use a little more of right now. For News 3 Now, I'm Leah Lynchide.
But while some have had too much, others have experienced food insecurity during the pandemic. According to Consumer Reports survey, 1 in 5 American grocery shoppers has had to turn to a food bank since the start of the pandemic.
And if you're considering giving to a local food bank, Consumer Reports says to prioritize cash over cans. Food banks welcome most donated food, but monetary donations let them buy food wholesale and in bulk, giving a bigger bang for your donation. Well, there's potentially a lot of rain in the forecast, but fortunately nothing like they're getting in Australia.
When we come back, we'll take a look at the devastating flooding down under. That's coming up after Dana's First Warn forecast.
Tonight on CBS, it's a night of suspense, beginning with NCIS, followed by FBI and FBI Most Wanted. Then get a complete wrap-up of the day's news on News 3 Now at 10.
Where can a healthier heart lead you? For people with heart failure taking Entresto, it may lead to a world of possibilities. Entresto is a heart failure medicine prescribed by most cardiologists. It was proven superior at helping people stay alive and out of the hospital. Heart failure can change the structure of your heart, so it may not work as well. Entresto helps improve your heart's ability to pump blood to the body. And with a healthier heart, there's no telling where life may take you. Don't take Entresto if pregnant. It can cause harm or death to an unborn baby. Don't take Entresto with an ACE inhibitor or aliskiren, or if you've had angioedema with an ACE or ARB. The most serious side effects are angioedema, low blood pressure, kidney problems, or high blood potassium. Ask your doctor about Entresto for heart failure, and trust your heart to Entresto.
Here's me, Bob, looking super comfy in my dream 5-piece sectional, only $22.99. And here's me in the competition's similar-looking sectional, trying to find enough change to afford its price. Hundreds, even thousands more than my dream. My dream sectional was super deep seating, baby soft stain-resistant fabric, and a plush down blend pillow top, plus a layer of Bobapedic memory foam, only $22.99. Me stressing over the competition's crazy price. Me relaxing on my dream sectional.
Get Bob's Discount!
Only at Bob's Discount Furniture.
There are endless ways to see the world. But when it comes to actually getting there and experiencing every soul-changing corner of it, there's only one. The Jeep Cherokee.
Right now, get 0% APR financing for 84 months or $4,750 total cash allowance on select 2021 Jeep Cherokee models.
Does it really matter how beef is trimmed? Meet the facts. Fact: Hy-Vee has higher standards when it comes to trimming beef. Hy-Vee Choice Reserve is trimmed with only 1/4 inch of fat. So you pay for the meat, not for the fat. And get what you pay for. Are you getting what you pay for? Stop paying for the fat. Check out meetthefacts.hyvee.com.
You expect students to make a mess in schools. But the superintendent, under Deb Kerr's leadership, the Brown Deer School District was a financial mess. Kerr's district's accounts were overdrawn by $500,000, slamming her district with late fees. And instead of firing the employee responsible, he was given paid leave, costing taxpayers $136,000 more to pay him to do nothing. Scandals, cover-ups, taxpayer money wasted. Deb Kerr, the wrong choice for state school superintendent.
Take a look and listen to this. It's not the sound of the school bell that accompanies a 10-year-old girl to her lessons, but rather sounds of dozens of goat bells.
Oh.
Rather like the story of the iconic little girl who lived with her goats in Switzerland, this young student is carrying out her classes in the fresh northern Italian air with her father's herd of goats. Her father says the girl's mother's out all day working, and rather than leaving the daughter at home by herself, she decided to follow her dad to work and carry out her lessons on her computer in the open air on a little table in the middle of nature.
Boy, is that a lucky girl.
I love this.
Susan loves goats.
I do love goats.
This is your dream.
That is my dream. It's true. That's great.
That is a great story. Good for her. Good. I'm glad she has that opportunity.
You love them too, Dana, don't you?
Yes, yes. If we could take a Live at 4 field trip, that would be great, Susan.
I just don't like those vertical eyes.
Oh, stop it. They're small. You'll be fine.
All right, we're going to get wet if I go out there to check out the goats.
Yes, right now we do have rain coming down, so if you are going to step outside, I would keep the umbrella on hand. We have some pretty steady showers for this evening. Here's a live look at downtown right now. Visibility reduced just a smidge with that rain coming down. We will take a closer look at your full forecast right after the break.
It's a familiar story. Allergies ruining your sleep and next day too. Taking Zysol at night relieves allergies while you sleep, so you wake refreshed. Plus, it works faster than Claritin and on first dose provides the same relief as Zyrtec at nearly half the size. Be wise all. Take Zysol at night.
A nursing home promises to care for our parents as cherished loved ones. But if your parents have been injured in a nursing home, we can help. Habish, Habish, and Rotier. We fight for what's right.
If your dry eye symptoms keep coming back, inflammation in your eye might be to blame.
Looks like a great day for achy, burning eyes.
Over-the-counter eye drops typically work by lubricating your eyes and may provide temporary relief.
Ha! These drops probably won't touch me.
Xiidra works differently, targeting inflammation that can cause dry eye disease.
What is that? Xiidra? No!
It can provide lasting relief.
Oh.
Xiidra is the only FDA-approved treatment specifically for the signs and symptoms of dry eye disease. 1 drop in each eye, twice a day. Don't use if you're allergic to Xiidra. Common side effects include eye irritation, discomfort, or blurred vision when applied to the eye, and unusual taste sensation. Don't touch container tip to your eye or any surface. After using Xiidra, wait 15 minutes before reinserting contacts.
Got any room in your eye?
Talk to an eye doctor about twice daily Xiidra.
I'd prefer you didn't.
Xiidra. Not today, dry eye.
The time is right to do something nice for your home. Why not replace your gutters with LeafGuard, the only gutter system that has earned the Good Housekeeping seal of approval? Hi, I'm Andrew Larson, owner of Larson Home Services. LeafGuard's patented one-piece seamless design keeps leaves and debris out, which means no more clogs, guaranteed. LeafGuard carries a lifetime warranty, so your home's foundation will be protected forever, and our customers couldn't be happier.
They're the best. I don't have to worry about the gutters getting clogged up with the seeds, the branches, the dirt, the roof sheddings, and it's just one less worry for me.
And right now, save big on your new LeafGuard brand gutter system and get some incredible extras. Order now and save 75% on installation labor, get free financing for a year, and a $100 Visa gift card. Call to set up your free estimate today.
News 3 Now First Warn Weather is brought to you by Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor.
Discover a shopping and design experience as comfortable as the furniture. Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor. Schedule your free design consultation today.
Well, we were just talking about how it's get out on the water season. It's so nice when you're downtown and there are so many boats out on the water. It's still a little cool for us, I think, to hop in, but A lot of the ducks pretty happy. A very ducky forecast. We do have a little bit of rain coming through, and the mallards seem to be pretty okay with that. The shower chances will continue through the evening. As you can see, some heavier rain mixed in. Right now, the thunderstorms seem well down to the southwest, south and the southern edge of Iowa, but we are going to continue to see those storms lift north. So I wouldn't be surprised if we hear a few rumbles of thunder overnight. But right now, those heavier rain spots in parts of Iowa County moving into Richland County right now. It does look just south of Monroe that we could have some more steady rainfall coming down. So that's the trend for us. If you've left anything outside overnight, at this point, it's probably quite soggy. It'll get soggy over the next several days if it's not just yet, as we do have showers overnight into tomorrow and some isolated thunderstorms mixed in. We'll have another round of showers late Thursday. Could see some light flurries or light snow late Thursday night into early Friday, but for Friday during the day, we will become partly sunny. We'll be back to sunshine for us heading into the weekend, so it'll be a nice little pause in the showers for us on Friday. The center of the system still well down to the south. Again, that's where we're seeing the thunderstorms right now in southern Iowa. The radar bringing up a lot of lightning in that direction for us. At the very northern edge of this rain, seeing just the showers building on through. And that's going to continue again for the next few hours. So your evening commute, the next few hours on the roads, wouldn't be surprised if there were things moving just a little slower outside right now, as we'll see those steady showers into early Wednesday morning. And we'll still have some light rain coming down into early Wednesday afternoon. So scattered showers likely for Wednesday. Fast forwarding to Thursday, though, temperature-wise early in the day in the 30s, and then that chance for some light rain, possibly transitioning to light snow, develops later in the day and overnight. Overall rainfall totals for us overnight and into Wednesday. We're going to add on another 1/2 inch to 3/4 of an inch for much of Dane County. These totals in that 1/2 inch range for most of the area. So not expecting a total washout for us over the next several hours overnight. But we are going to pick up a little more rain. As we look at our 6 to 10 day outlook, starting to see a divide here. Not a big swing one way or the other with our precipitation trend. But our temperatures seem likely to be trending above average, and it does seem likely the mild weather is going to stick with us through the weekend and into next week. Not as mild tomorrow. We are expecting breezy conditions. We will drop back a little bit with high temperatures in the mid-50s. For Thursday, again, that rain chance starting to develop later in the day, and a little light snow possible and flurries possible at night. For Friday, we're back to sunshine. Could mix a little bit with some light snow at night as our next chance for a little rain or freezing drizzle builds in late into early Saturday. Saturday we'll have some showers. Sunny again Sunday and Monday, and then off and on rain on Tuesday. So we get sun for a little bit, and then we're back to showers. Again, a very springy pattern as we look towards the end of March and into April. Temperature-wise, though, thankfully we aren't having any big drops with that, because if we're a little cooler right now, guys, the rain would not be rain.
Quiet.
Sorry, my bad.
The rain is good.
It's rain. It's
washes
rain,
everything away.
It's spring showers, yes.
All the gravel and all the dirt, we need it.
Yes.
We need a good bath. All right, Dana, thank you.
Thanks, Dana.
The worst flooding in more than 50 years has swallowed up neighborhoods in Australia.
Tina Kraus is in London with the efforts underway to save people and pets.
A massive rescue operation is underway across Australia's east coast.
Hello, is anybody home?
As crews try to reach hundreds stranded in floodwaters.
We've got houses going under, we've got roads getting cut off, and the only way to get access is via boat or helicopter at this point.
Days of torrential downpours have swept away homes, and rivers have burst their banks. Some towns haven't seen this much rain in decades.
It's upsetting, obviously, because you don't like to see anyone struggle, but we'll do what we can.
Community spirit has helped to save animals too.
We got them. We got them all.
I thought it was a swan, and it ended up being an emu.
The pet emu named Gookie got spooked and took refuge on the edge of the rising waters. His owner wrestled him back into a boat and brought him home.
It's like a puppy to him, so yeah. With the amount of water, obviously, he was very stressed.
That stress is shared across flood-ravaged communities as residents brace for what forecasters are calling a last blast of rain going into Wednesday. Tina Kraus, CBS News.
Wow, and the flooding comes a year after wildfires, you may recall, raged across Australia, killing dozens of people and destroying thousands of homes.
A rough couple of years, that's for sure. All right, we'll be right back.
Want to brain better? Unlike ordinary memory supplements, Nariva has clinically proven ingredients that fuel 5 indicators of brain performance: memory, focus, accuracy, learning, and concentration. Try our new gummies for 30 days and see the difference.
Let's say your car needs a new part, like an alternator. You could get just the one part at the typical auto parts store. Or for the same money at rockauto.com, get the alternator plus the belt and tensioner kit you'll need to do the repair right and have money left over to buy lunch. Since 1999, rockauto.com has provided reliably low prices, easy-to-use website, huge selection of parts, and fast shipping.
All the parts your car will ever need, Rock Auto.
With Visible, you get unlimited data for as little as $25 a month. But when you bring a friend, you get a month for $5. So I'm bringing everyone within 12 degrees of me. Damn. 12 months of $5 wireless. Visible, wireless that gets better with friends.
Love lower than low prices? Then get more ways to save at Pick and Save, where you can find personalized coupons, weekly deals, and rewards like fuel points. All for prices that are lower than low. On food that's fresher than fresh. Pick and Save. Fresh for everyone.
Over 10 years ago, we made a promise to redefine everything a truck can be. And while we've made good on that promise by winning back-to-back Motor Trend Truck of the Year awards, the work is never done.
During Ram Truck Month, hurry in and get 0% APR financing for 72 months, plus $4,000 total bonus cash on the 2021 Ram 1500. Visit ram.com and see your local Ram dealer today.
Joe knows that harnessing renewable energy today like we're doing leads to a healthier planet tomorrow.
Joe fights for fair wages for working families because he comes from one.
Joe Parisi apoya programas que mantienen a adultos de edad avanzada libres de caídas y seguros en casa.
Thank you, Joe, for all you do for all of us workers.
Gracias, Joe, por considerar a personas de todas las edades.
Thank you, Joe, for believing there's a better, cleaner way to power the county.
Tonight at 5, officials are continuing to search for the man accused of a shelter shooting in Madison. How the mayor is responding, that's ahead at 5.
Tonight it'll be breezy and mild with scattered showers and isolated thunderstorms. Tomorrow will be breezy as well, but not as mild with scattered showers. My forecast at 5.
And ahead at 6, Wisconsin Republicans are set to vote on a bill taking away the governor's ability to decide where federal COVID relief dollars go. That's ahead on News 3 Now at 6.
Live look outside on this Tuesday afternoon. A little rain this afternoon. It'll green everything up, though, quickly. And there's more rain coming later this week as well. Dana will update that in just a little bit. Miami is topping a new list, but it's not something the city can be proud of.
Orkin released its 3rd annual list of the top 50 termite cities in the United States. For the 3rd year in a row, Miami topped the list. Los Angeles and Tampa came in 2nd and 3rd place. Those 3 cities have held the top 3 spots for the past 3 years. After a 2-year run at number 4, New York fell 3 spots. It was replaced by Washington, D.C. Atlanta rounds out the top 5. The list is based on data from the metro areas where Orkin performed the most first-time customer termite treatments in the last year. The ranking includes both residential and commercial treatments. Well, maybe the future of farming on a changing planet. From 2001 to 2016, the U.S. lost 11 million acres of farmland, mostly to development.
Across the U.S., only 19% of land is considered best for growing food and crops. Ben Tracy traveled to Kentucky to meet a pioneering young farmer who is also giving his Appalachian community an economic boost.
We build big. This rectangle of steel and glass stretches for nearly half a mile. And just as you start to take it all in, you realize that's only the half of it.
When we do something, we put our mind to it, we go massive.
Jonathan Webb used to build solar energy projects for the government.
It's like surfing coming down here.
Now the 35-year-old is running one of the largest indoor farming operations in the world, growing row after row after row of tomatoes. This greenhouse is the size of 58 football fields, so big you can't see where it ends.
Do you think of yourself as a farmer? Yeah, this is farming.
Calling it App Harvest isn't just clever tech talk. It's located in Appalachia, just outside Moorhead, Kentucky.
Everybody watch out for Central Appalachia. We're absolutely going to be one of the largest fruit and vegetable suppliers of the U.S. in the decades to come.
Climate change is not only altering our weather patterns, but it's changing where and how we grow our food. A lot of our produce comes from California and Mexico, two places now hit with frequent and devastating droughts. Kentucky is getting wetter and has location on its side.
We can get to 70% of the U.S. in a one-day drive, whereas right now you're importing product from Mexico coming 2 weeks on a truck.
App Harvest plans to build at least a dozen of these indoor grow facilities. They use rainwater collected on the massive roof and stored in this pond, the size of 70 Olympic swimming pools. Water is delivered to the plants in precise amounts so it isn't wasted.
Once that rainwater is in here, it only leaves as a tomato.
They can grow year-round and all night when the greenhouse shows its more colorful side, thanks to special grow lights that keep the 720,000 plants inside reaching for the sky. The company says farming this way uses 90% less water, no soil, and results in 30 times more yield per acre than a regular outdoor farm. So you may be thinking, well, that's great for tomatoes, but I'd like to eat more than just tomatoes. Well, they say they can do this for any sort of vine crop, including cucumbers, bell peppers, and berries. There are downsides. Building huge structures of steel and glass creates its own planet-warming emissions, and it takes energy to run all those nighttime lights. The tomatoes also cost a bit more than the ones grown in Mexico. But reinventing farming on a changing planet is crucial because the United Nations says the world's farmers need to grow 60% more food by 2050 to feed the estimated 9.3 billion people that will be living on the planet.
This is 30 years away. We're not talking like great-grandkids need to figure this out. We're talking we need to figure this out.
Webb has big backers, and sitting on his board of directors is a legend the food world knows by just one name.
And I was terrified, is Martha going to like this tomato? So Martha Stewart, we got her a box. Martha calls, these are fabulous, they're wonderful. She posted them on Instagram, and that was the moment we knew we had a winner. How we doing?
But for Webb, this hits home. He's from Central Appalachia, an area hit hard by the collapse of tobacco and coal, where 1 in 3 people live below the poverty line.
You know, we shut down the coal mines and no one said what's next.
App Harvest has created more than 500 jobs at this one facility. The company has also given stock options to its employees.
There were people in tears. People have never owned a car, never owned a house.
At the top of the vines, we met up with Sam Smith, who used to harvest a much different crop, tobacco.
When that came to a halt, so did the money. So it's hard to find, good, consistent work like this. It's a blessing.
You got it.
Webb believes he and his Orange Army are building a new future for Appalachia.
It's a runaway freight train. Now it's a matter, how big is it going to be? How fast are we going to go?
And that's saying something, given how big it already is. Ben Tracy, Moorhead, Kentucky.
That is fascinating.
Isn't it? Yeah.
Wow. The future of farming. Well, with the number of COVID-19 vaccines being put into arms on the increase, what does life look like after you're immunized?
We'll talk with UW Health's Dr. Jeff Putoff about life in a pandemic post-vaccination when Live at 4 continues.
When you think about the businesses that have been most affected by COVID-19, restaurants are at the very top of that list. Alfredo, tell us the story of Bonfire. This all began back in 2009 for you. It's one of my favorite restaurants in town, so it's a true honor to sit here with you today.
Well, I appreciate you coming by. We wanted to do something that's kind of nice but casual. So we focus on a big bar, as you can see. Exhibition kitchen. We use a wood fire grill, so when you walk in, you can smell it.
What has it been like for you trying to own and operate a business during what the last year has brought with COVID-19?
It's been rough, you know, it's been really rough. We had to shut down for about 4 months. During that time, we lost a lot of good employees.
But thanks to the Keep Wisconsin Warm Cool Fund, those employees have a place to turn.
While the pandemic has really impacted on all of us, it's hit hardest those people especially from the restaurant industry. For them, just being able to keep a roof over their head or their heat and power on is an unaffordable luxury. Now more than ever, they need us. We want to give back to them, as does many of their neighbors, family, and friends who realize that at no fault of their own, they're struggling to survive.
Now, we've seen an uptick, in business, especially the last 3 weeks with vaccine coming out. People have been very generous to the staff, which is great.
Let's do a cheers to getting through this time and to a brighter tomorrow.
Right.
Cheers, Alfredo.
From Bonfire American Grill,
I'm Emmy Fink, and you're buzzed into Madison. You got it!
We switched.
I switched to Chevy. I switched for more room.
I switched for my family, for adventure.
We love our Chevy.
With an impressive lineup of cars, trucks, and SUVs, it's no wonder people are switching to Chevy year after year.
I'm never switching back.
Get a $2,000 cash allowance on most 2021 Traverse models. Plus, current Chevy owners get an additional $1,000 cash allowance. Chevrolet, the #1 selling brand in Wisconsin.
Buying your first home is the start of realizing bigger dreams with your family. That's why it's important to protect everything you love with American Family Insurance. Wait, what's that?
It's their dream car.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it's actually my dream car. And my little dream tire swing with some dream trees. There'll be a nice dream garden right here too.
Protect your dream home with American Family Insurance. Insure carefully, dream fearlessly.
Good news, the eastbound side of the Beltline is now open. It is moving very slowly, though. We have significant delays along the eastbound side. Also seeing delays westbound in the Beltline, downtown Madison. A few stop-and-go spots, but the good news in Dane County, Rock County, the interstate does look smooth right now. So from Janesville to the Beltline, we are at 26 minutes, 16 minutes to get from Sauk City to Middleton, and Sun Prairie to downtown, a quick 9-minute drive this evening. That's a quick look at traffic.
All right, Dana, thank you. This is not a drill, people. Krispy Kreme is offering a sweet incentive for anyone with proof of vaccination. The donut chain says it'll give out a free glazed donut to any customer with a valid COVID-19 vaccination card. If that's not tempting enough, the company says the offer is open-ended in 2021. That means you could get your free donut every day for the rest of the year. Unfortunately, the closest shop to us is in West Allis.
Oh, that's too bad. It's good incentive, though.
It is good incentive. Well, more people than ever in Wisconsin are getting their COVID-19 vaccines.
Meanwhile, AstraZeneca's vaccine could be on the U.S. market by the beginning of May, and that would make it the 4th vaccine available.
UW Health Chief Quality Officer Dr. Jeff Potoff joins us once again with our latest vaccine news. Good to see you, Doctor.
Good to see you guys, too.
A little bump in the road for AstraZeneca yesterday. They came out with some numbers, and then they said, well, the official said that's not exactly right.
Yeah, AstraZeneca's had a couple bumps in the road from, early on with some cases of, questions of neural problems, which kind of were found to not be related to blood clots. Now to some questions about the data. And I think what it boils down to is the data cutoff for what they publicized was in February. And now, a month later, there's, more presence of variants that's likely to make the vaccine a little bit less effective. But I think, it'll end up turning out to be that the AstraZeneca vaccine is safe. I think we know that already, and it's still going to be highly efficacious. And I think, it could be something that we see here in the United States, just like it is something that 70 other countries are using right now.
Yeah, that's encouraging to hear. Okay, let's talk a little bit about, since so many people are getting vaccinated, which is really good news, are there still restrictions for people that have had both vaccinations?
There are restrictions, but, the game changes a fair bit. So if you've been vaccinated and it's 2 weeks after either your first shot of Johnson & Johnson or your second shot of the other two, your risk of getting severe COVID, being hospitalized or dying of COVID is very, very low. Some would say even zero. But until everyone's vaccinated, we still want you to stay your distance when out in public, wear your mask, just because we're not certain if people who are vaccinated could carry the virus and spread it to others who are not vaccinated. And that would be a way that we could get hotspots, especially with variants out there. So for the time being, we kind of hold the line, even though we're vaccinated. But your personal risk is low, and it won't be long before we won't need to wear masks. We won't need to distance because enough people will have been vaccinated.
Let's say you're with a group of 3 or 4 people that have both vaccines. Can you take the mask off at that point?
Yeah, you know, if you're in a small group, especially if you're in a private place where you're not going to be in contact with others from the public, it is safe if everyone is fully vaccinated to take the mask off and, be close together if that's the activity that you're doing.
Well, what happens if you've had the vaccine? What happens if you're then exposed to COVID-19?
Right. So what we know is that for most people, you won't have any symptoms. You may not even be able to carry the virus, although that's not, answered yet, but you're going to feel fine. What we don't know yet is if there is a small chance that you could have the virus in you and spread it to others. Now, we do know that viral loads are much lower in people who are vaccinated, so the risk of spreading is lower. But for the most part, unless you're part of that 5% that doesn't really make a response, you're not even going to have any symptoms or know that anything was going on after an exposure.
Any pro tips on getting an appointment for a vaccine?
Yeah, that's what everybody wants to know.
Yeah, it's kind of a crazy time. It is really, try again. There's a lot of different vaccinators, and they all have different capacity of vaccines at different times. So I just encourage the public, to call around, check within Dane County, check outside of Dane County, and sooner or later you will find a spot that has vaccine that can vaccinate you. But, if you call that first place and they say, sorry, we're out right now, don't be dismayed. Just keep looking for it. Call that place back in a few days. And people are finding vaccine available out there. So it's out there. You just have to work for it.
Be patient.
Be patient and persistent. All right. Dr. Potoff, great to see you again.
Have a good afternoon, guys.
Thank you, Dr. Potoff. Thank you for your time.
Well, you bet. Final check of your forecast coming up.
People were afraid I was contagious. I felt gross.
It was kind of a shock after I started Cosentyx. 4 years clear.
Real people with psoriasis look and feel better with Cosentyx. Don't use if you're allergic to Cosentyx. Before starting, get checked for tuberculosis. An increased risk of infections and lowered ability to fight them may occur. Tell your doctor about an infection or symptoms. If your inflammatory bowel disease symptoms develop or worsen, or if you've had a vaccine or plan to, serious allergic reactions may occur. Learn more at Cosentyx.com.
I can't take it anymore. It's time for a change. Buy one window, get one free? Perfect.
I can change, honey.
Not you. These drafty old windows.
Oh.
It's time for a change. Buy one window, get one free from Feldco.
Buy one, get one free, and soon. Call now.
For quality windows, siding, and doors, call 866 for Feldco.
Do you suffer from ED? Did you know there could be a way to relieve ED without harmful medications, needles, or surgery? Peak Performance for Men is here to help. Click or call now to treat your ED. And remember, our results make the difference.
You expect students to make a mess in schools, but the superintendent, under Deb Kerr's leadership, the Brown Deer School District was a financial mess. Kerr's district's accounts were overdrawn by $500,000, slamming her district with late fees. And instead of firing the employee responsible, he was given paid leave, costing taxpayers $136,000 more to pay him to do nothing. Scandals, cover-ups, taxpayer money wasted. Deb Kerr, the wrong choice for state school superintendent.
Wednesday morning, we'll update the rain chances in your First Warn forecast.
And we're live from an area organic farm that focuses on bringing local food to the local community. We'll see you starting at 4:30 on News 3 Now this morning.
It's one thing to say you have the most accurate forecast. It's another to prove it, and we've done just that.
First Warn Weather has been certified most accurate here in Madison by WeatherRate, an independent research firm. They study every news station's forecast every day, every year, and determine scientifically which forecasts align with the actual observed conditions.
Only one station came out on top, and that's News 3 Now First Warn Weather.
Trust the First Warn Weather team for your most accurate forecast. A sewer backup destroyed a disabled Janesville veteran's basement.
This isn't my fault.
After the city refused to pay for damages, local businesses and community members saw our investigative report and are stepping up to help. That's why News 3 Now investigates.
Right now, the radar has our showers lifting right into southern Wisconsin. All of the lightning, though, as we take a closer look to southern Iowa, that's where our thunderstorms are right now along that leading edge heading into Des Moines. For us, we do not have any lightning for the area, though we do have some heavier rain showers, it looks like, near Lone Rock and Richland Center, also outside of Monroe right now, some heavier rain. As we look at our Platteville sky cam, the radar is showing a bit of a break in the raindrops, but I wouldn't be surprised if you're still feeling some light drizzle for parts of Grant County and Madison. Steadier rainfall with temperatures holding on to the mid-50s. Our cloudy sky and raining conditions will continue for us overnight.
Tomorrow here on Live Before, spring is officially here and the weather will eventually warm up. Destination Madison will be along with some ideas for families as we can finally get out of the house. That's coming up tomorrow on Live at 4.
To be a thriver with metastatic breast cancer means asking for what we want and need, and we need more time. So we want Kisqali. Living longer is possible and proven with Kisqali when taken with a non-steroidal aromatase inhibitor in premenopausal women with HR-positive, HER2-negative metastatic breast cancer. Kisqali is a pill that's significantly more effective at delaying disease progression versus a non-steroidal aromatase inhibitor alone. Kisqali can cause lung problems or an abnormal heartbeat, which can lead to death. It can cause serious skin reactions, liver problems, and low white blood cell counts that may result in severe infections. Tell your doctor right away if you have new or worsening symptoms, including breathing problems, cough, chest pain, a change in your heartbeat, dizziness, yellowing of the skin or eyes, dark urine, tiredness, loss of appetite, abdomen pain, bleeding, bruising, fever, chills, or other symptoms of an infection, a severe or worsening rash, are or plan to become pregnant or breastfeeding. Avoid grapefruit during treatment. Kisqali is not approved for use with tamoxifen. Ask your doctor about living longer with Kisqali.
We switch.
I switched to Chevy.
I switched for more room.
I switched for my family. For adventure.
We love our Chevy.
With an impressive lineup of cars, trucks, and SUVs, it's no wonder people are switching to Chevy year after year.
I'm never switching back.
Add another Chevy to your driveway. Get a $3,500 cash allowance on most 2021 Equinox models. Plus, current Chevy owners get an additional $1,250 cash allowance. Find new roads at your local Chevy dealer.
You know your gutters are full of gunk, and you know you need to deal with it eventually. With LeafGuard, you can give up cleaning your gutters forever. Hi, I'm Andrew Larson, owner of Larson Home Services. My team would love to show you how LeafGuard's patented design channels rainwater into your gutters while leaves, seeds, and other debris just roll off, leaving them clog-free, guaranteed.
We looked at several different types of gutters, and we knew that we had problems with leaves. We have lots of trees around our house, and I'm the one who goes and cleans out the gutters, and I wanted to eliminate that hassle in the fall of cleaning the gutters, and LeafGuard has done a wonderful job. Love to hear that. Right now, your LeafGuard brand gutter system comes with some great money-saving extras. Order now and save 75% on installation labor, get free financing for a year, and a $100 Visa gift card. Call to set up your free estimate today.
In today's Final Touch, the votes are in.
And there's a new Cadbury bunny. For the first time ever, an amphibian is inheriting the bunny ears. Betty, the Australian White's tree frog, will represent